Is that it? Or do you have any more sounds to play there in the background? What the heck are you doing? Let's get this thing started. There's a button here or something, right? I think it's this one. That'll get us going, right? Is that it? Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is November 7th, 2024. And we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. Let me say hello. There's a couple folks already joined in with us right here. Dr. Cox, hello. Robert Steffen, hey there. Null Sheffa with the big wave. Jay Tandon over there on YouTube. How's it going? Can't wait for .NET Conf and .NET 9. Yeah. It's so I explain this occasionally here on stream. So in my role as producer for the event, I've been working on this since April. So like you're going to see content, you're going to see a live event, you're going to see folks presenting from all over the world, and we've been working on this. I mean, it's not nonstop since April, but April we started initial talks, first planning. Here's what we're going to look at as far as content, getting designers working on creative assets, literally April. So it is a good 6 months, 7 months lead time that goes into it, and then there's all the post event things that happen that we have to take care of and produce. So I can't wait for it. Also, consequently, it's a lot of stress. As we get into the tactical presentation over the next week, because it's all of the planning that I've done over the last 6 months, and all of the work that our team has put in to plan for their various components and elements of the event. It's out of our hands at this point. All of the plans are done, and now it's time for implementation, and we'll see how our tactical implementation of the event goes. So we're pretty excited. Hey there, Phil. Good to see you. Codebase Alpha is here. Welcome in. Great to see you. I've got a little bit of coffee here. I was actually in a meeting before this about .NET Conf. So, of course, you know, if you've been watching, you know we've got a great selection of partners as part of the event. They give away swag. They give away prizes. Make sure you check it out. .NETconf.net. Take a look at some of the partners that are part of this event. There's going to be games. There's going to be chaos. It's a stream that I'm producing. Of course there's going to be chaos. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a great time for us as developers to just talk about developer things. Have fun, laugh, learn a little bit, and hopefully you have a good time through the content that we're producing and delivering for the event. So, of course, here, we've been working on a project called SharpSite, where we wanted to do a little bit of a content management system and have some fun building something that would be a better WordPress, something that's open source, easy for folks to grab onto, have access to, work with, contribute to, and even learn as we're building this. So we're going to be working on that again on today's stream. We're building those static pages so that you can add to your website the about page. You can add, right, the contact us page, those types of things that you want to add in as a static page, not so much a blog post to your website. And we're going to get into hopefully building some continuous integration later, maybe even get into authentication and authorization. Hey, Genga, hello. Welcome in. So that's where I am today. I'm not going to go, I don't think I'm going to go the full length today. I do have, I mentioned .NET Conf is next week, so I have literally meetings all afternoon right into the evening today. So I love taking time to run the live stream, but yeah, I'm in meetings right through till 5 p.m. today, and I got to get stuff a little bit done over there. SharpSite, it's like a .NET Blazor WordPress pane of glass. A little bit. Let's get the code going. Well, I want to get some music playing first, if you don't mind. And let's go with the EDM playlist today because I do want to go a little bit faster, a little bit more focused. Let's start here. Let's go. There it is. Let's go. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. It's called Stream Beats, and our friend Harris Heller has put this together. Check it out at streambeats.com. Big thanks to him and his team of creators for putting this music together we're listening to today. Harris Hecker. Hey, Ellie Face. There's our friend Ellie Face. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Great to see you. Happy Time Zone Napalm Codes. Great to see you. Billy Cool is here. Welcome with a big wave. Yeah. Love this music because it's just groovy to have in the background, you know? Hey there, Alu the Crow with a big wave. I'm still working on a Linux system. So we've got that piped in and displaying over here. So we can be a real developer and work on Linux. I invented air quotes. Where did that clip go? I have that clip. Why don't I see it? I don't see it. I can't find that clip anymore.
Right.
So, I do need to give more of the clip playing to you folks. You found a playlist of songs that were not good enough for Eurovision, but still good enough, so the obsession is starting early again? Not gonna lie. I was watching the Eurovision playlist this week. And got wrapped back up in Europe. It's not until February, March, like the first rounds are. Like, we've got a long time till Eurovision, and I'm already wrapped back up into it. Oh, yes, that's right. Dr. Evil invented air quotes.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Yes, you're gonna bring me with you. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm in. We're gonna need some fun and some chaos in early 2025. I think we're really going to need that. I should try atomic dev environments on Linux. It's fun and reproducible for all people. Tell me more, Genga, because I'm using .NET Aspire, which means that I can package up and compile and put the exact framework that I want together, and it will connect and instrument everything in a really nice way for us. Hey there, Hef. Hef says, you're only a real developer if you manage the quantum states of individual subatomic particles making up the semiconductors of your CPU. No. Donuts and coffee? Absolutely. On a day like today, why not have some voodoo donuts? Yes. So, you start celebrating Easter in Sweden in October by starting the fasting by eating buns with lots of cream in it. Okay, I like what you're going to there, Fuel Snavel. Gotta have the Wilhelm screams. Goodies coming at .NET Conf for Aspire loving Azure Service Bus Cosmos DB users? Maybe. And your Vice. There's a large section about .NET Aspire right up at the top in the keynote. There's a section about .NET Aspire immediately following the keynote. And on day 2, there is a half-hour fireside chat. I don't think we called it that, but that's really what it's going to be. With David Fowler, the architect of .NET Aspire, to talk about it. Next month, you get to go back to Voodoo. Yeah. Look, I like what LA Face is talking about, and let's have some fun with some crazy music in a crazy music competition that's high quality and not the stupid singers that we see on American Idol or something like that. Like, Eurovision is a class apart. So the downside of Aspire on Linux apparently is no Docker desktop. So what? You can install Docker desktop on Linux if you want. But .NET Aspire 9 with Linux works great. That's what I'm doing with SharpSite, and you'll see it here today. DGB, hello to you in France. You've contributed to bring French translations. Really? You know what? I haven't refreshed. Hang on, let me take a look. So we started adding I don't see a pull request. So I don't see one. But if you'd like to contribute, absolutely. We've started opening up the ability to take translations for SharpSite, the project we're building here on stream. Let me know. If you have translations for your language, I speak American and I speak it badly. You can set up a pull request, Fritz and Friends /SharpSite. So they're not in Fowler's backyard. What's not in Fowler's backyard? .NET Aspire is red as Postgres support. Oh, half. Yes, it does, and it's really, really good. Wait till you see what we have here when we get into that. Use lazy Docker on Linux. You don't want to be a Nix shill, but you can use something like DevBox. Yeah, why? Third-party libraries are what make other ecosystems go round, Hef. You can wrap a Python service in Aspire? Yes, you can. Doesn't seem to support Conda. I can't speak towards that. I don't know enough about the Python integration. Take a look what happens next week. You're not complaining about Docker Desktop so much as Docker Desktop does things for you on Windows that for obvious reasons don't happen on Linux. No, I've set up volumes on Linux as well, and it works. Azure Service Bus emulators. Some of those might be coming. That's right. I did the internationalization the same way I did a YouTube presentation, but for Clip Talk. I did. Yeah. There's lots more coming there. Let me head over to the code. We can talk a little bit more about what's going on with this project, how we're building this out. There's my keyboard, of course, the Digma Defy. They released a special edition version of this where you can get alternate colors of the plate here. My plate is black, so you can get like blue and purple and orange. It looks really, really cool, and you can buy just the plates if you want them. And the one I want, the purple, is out. It's not available. Right. So what is it? Digma.com. Yeah. Digma Defy. Right. And right, this is the one that I have. And where's the special edition thing? There's did they link it from the blog? Is it like hiding up here or something? No. Oh, darn it. I don't see it linked from the website. Black Month deals. Okay, here we go. Limited edition. There's a Halloween. Yes. There you go. Look at those. That looks really cool. Like, not gonna lie, that looks nice, but I don't know. Not sure why volume bind mount would give permission issues. Mounting a directory you don't have permissions. Yeah. You prefer to keep your host system clean of any Docker stuff if possible. Why do you want to keep your system clean of Docker? That's the whole point of Docker, is to allow you to component and hide things and put it away. You took next week off to focus on .NET Conf. Nice. Does this model allow for individual key swaps? I have a few funny things. Check this out, right? So you can see the keyboard here. So I do have, right, alternate layers that I have set up that do different things. So, right, I jump into this layer and my arrow keys are over here. I have another layer for Overwatch, and I put my arrow keys over here so that I can do left hand playing Overwatch, and all the red keys are weapons, right? I have, which one is it? I have my Tmux keys here to create and work with panels. So there are 10 layers that you can set up with this. Right? And you don't have to get the Defy. The Defy has this ergonomic set layout. There's the Raise is a little bit more QWERTY oriented. But you can set up macros to do anything, any typing that you want on this. You can have it play and control your media, turn on and off LEDs and things as you touch keys. There's also this concept of a super key. And this is a perfect example of what this does, right? Digma provided this keyboard for me. I do not get paid to share and if you buy a Digma keyboard, but it does help that they know if you take a look at this that you came from here. So this super key that you see right here, what looks like left bracket, is actually this copy paste key. So I tap the key and it copies whatever's highlighted. Hold the key and it pastes. Tap and hold and it does the control shift paste, right? Double tap does a cut. So, right, with one key, I have all my copy paste operations. I don't have to worry about contorting my hand and using the other hand to do copy paste. It's all right here, just bang, 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 and I copy and paste and I'm done. So you can build those super keys out. And I built one to do a bunch of the Visual Studio save and build operations as well. Double tap and hold actually debugs and launches the application. So there are 10 layers that you get by default here that you can work with. I don't think they don't let you add more than 10 layers, but you can write as many macros as you'd like, and that's how much memory storage is on the keyboard. Works with Windows, Mac, and Linux. Love this keyboard. I've really had a good time using it. So, and you don't have to reboot and flash the keyboard. It does it all live there in that base core application. So you want to kick off some funny things? Totally can do that from the keyboard.
Jeremy just resubscribed for 57 months. Keyboard macros FTW.
Yeah, totally cool. You miss your Microsoft Natural keyboard. They were so nice, but the plastic was bad quality, turned yellow. This is all aluminum here. So it's great. Physical key swaps? Yeah, you can... These... Oh, that's the... They sent me an enhancement kit. Along with all the different switches, rings, and, right, keycap puller. So, yeah, it's a typical mechanical keyboard that you can pull keys and swap them around if you'd like. Oh, come on now. I did this before because I swapped out these keys, right? So, I've moved around a couple of the keys because I didn't like this blank key that was over here was over this way, but I wanted my hyphen key to appear there. So, yep, absolutely can be done, and it's a pretty standard set of keys. But right, you want the RGB to pass through. You had to choose between running Docker and running IntelliJ. What? Poor MacBook didn't have enough memory and CPU for both. Okay, you need a better dev machine. That's awful. No, come on now. You're gonna reach out to your admin staff and say,
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
So, it is built into X11. However, being able to do that back and forth in the browser and things is really, really nice. You love how the keyboard looks like a giant hand. Those are my hands. For normal keyboard users, we have Kanata. Brushed aluminum or painted? Brushed. The tech dentist. Yes, that's exactly what this is. This is tech dentistry right here. So nice little doodad, and they even gave a little brush. Look at the little brush. So this kit is extra with the extra different switches, and it's real easy to swap out these switches if you wanted to be able to update, modify your keyboard to do something else. This is a premium keyboard experience. This isn't the $20 keyboard you get at Walmart, Target, one of those places. Like, you're paying for a premium device that you can use anywhere. It is RF enabled. It is wired with USB-C. There is a USB-A adapter with it, and it is Bluetooth, so you can use it with your favorite tablet, your phone, all those things. So, but I do really enjoy using this. So 20 more like 50? No. Right, if we head over here. That's not my location, so I don't care. 35 bucks. I saw, there you go, $30 over here for Steel Series Apex 100. Those are keyboards, but those aren't the keyboards that I was talking about. 25 bucks for MoFi. I'm looking for their brand, and I don't see it. I do not see it here. Those are actual, like, brand name companies. No matter. So, hey, PC nerd. Kanata is a service that allows you to remap keyboard. Okay. But when you take your keyboard and you want to use it with a different system, a different device, that mapping doesn't go with you. These mappings are saved on the keyboard, and I've got 16 thumb switches here. These ones, Face was asking, can you swap these out? These ones don't have, right? You're not going to find a swap key that looks like these shapes. So, there you go. Amazon Basics, 20 bucks. There you go. So, but I'm still improving, getting better at this, getting faster at typing with this. I love the magnetic keypads, wrist rests that you can take off, clean up, and they magnet right back on. So I feel like I'm promoting this every time because folks ask questions like, ooh, check out that keyboard. It's a cool keyboard. Not gonna lie, I really like it. How long did it take me to learn my map efficiently? I'm still learning. It took me at least a month because I'm not an ergonomic typer. I'm not. So if you use my link down below, it lets them know that you came from my channel if you want to go buy one. And that just helps in showing the support that our channel has, our community has, for some of the cool things that Digma is building. And they want to move forward and do more with making keyboards that, quite frankly, tech folks like. The ability to shift to gaming mode and developer mode and have all of those weird keystrokes that we have as developers available as a single key makes our life so much easier. It really does. And I wired up a couple keystrokes for Tmux. I mentioned that. Hey, go back over there. Right? Right, so let's go into the SharpSite folder and open Tmux. Right, Tmux gives me this terminal emulation. So, right, I wired up the ability to split panels and delete panels with one keystroke to create new panels with this new complete windows with my B key over here. But I also wired up A here so I could do that and move around. Right? And just have that freedom to move around a little bit easier. Mapped out how to game on Overwatch to play some killer games. So, okay. When I tell you Junie and I mopped up last night in Overwatch, like, a bunch of our friends were hanging out and chatting. I saw Ellie and Nick were having a fantastic time in the PH16 chat room playing, and there was a bunch of folks chatting over there. A bunch of our folks were hanging out with friends were hanging out with Fairy Wings and Liliana, Katrina, and some of the folks over there. And Junie and I said, you know what, we need to unwind. We need to shoot some things. And we dropped into Overwatch. And when I tell you that we mopped up, we didn't just go 4-0, but I think we went 4-0 in the arcade mode and lost one map in that 4-0. Like, it was 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-0. Like, there were one or two of those games where we died maybe once, twice. And we literally bulldozed people, and it was destruction. Which leads to this question, because she was saying the faces that I make, the excitement that I have when I get into that game, I need to be streaming this. If I did more streaming of Overwatch, is that something that you would enjoy? Let me know. Your keychron has been great, but you hate the arrow key layout. It's like the 3/4 footprint. I like my racer, but I spilled liquids on it and it stopped working. So keyboards kept me on my toes in gaming. Yeah, it has been. You're going to buy the model with all the options. The one that I'm considering maybe omitting was the underglow, but I read that is super useful to show. So let me go back and well, I can bring it up. I do have there it is right there. So I know when I see this blue color around that I'm on my primary layer and that these keys are typical letters and typing. I know that when I have the purple down here that I'm in kind of a navigation mode, and I'm on white. This is a developer navigation and right angle brackets and curly braces mode. And when I have orange, I did orange so that it's Overwatch colors. But it's not just those colors. Check this out. When you go into and I don't know if this is something that Ellie Face was interested in. You can edit the color and choose exactly the RGB code you want for that display. So you see how I have the blue undercolor, right? So I could go and choose like this dark green, right? And you see how it's immediately lit up these couple places with that dark green. You can only have so many colors on the palette, but that, to me, that's fine. But it has that dark green underneath, and you can work with that. In my mind, that is so cool. And you can change the underglow to whatever color you want. And you can even make them different on the two sides. Right? It doesn't have to be the whole way around. You could make each one of these individually different colors up here. Right? And light them up, and it'll be broken up like that. Really, really cool stuff. So, not saying you need to, but it is useful to be sure. You'd love to see more streaming of Overwatch? Need to play it more often? Play on your Switch on occasion, but not very often? Okay. Developer mode with #FFF color? Yeah. Yeah. All right, fine. What color? Help me out then, chat room. When I'm on my developer, that's my navigation, and it's kind of purple. Now that's supposed to be like a light when I'm over here. Yeah, okay, it is kind of lavender. Like if I did that, right? You see how it's kind of that lavender color? That's not bad. I can do that. You don't want to have to look down, though. Totally. Is there a way for it to send an electrical shock? I think that's coming in the next release of Windows 11. It's part of the next WinUI toolkit. Hey, bald-bearded builder. Apricot, greetings to you in Ukraine. Hello. You can't add the option later, so you feel you're going to have to buy once, cry once, and then get fully loaded. And you're going to love it. Visual Studio Code tend to keep purple hue because of Visual Studio branding. Yeah, I totally get that. Dev layer should be purple so it matches C#. So I have that purple for the key codes, and it's the same purple now for over here. I feel like I need a different purple for the angle brackets. See, and that's like orange. No, I don't want orange. There you go. So now it's yellow. That's kind of cool. All right. Yes. You'd make all keys white, then add accent colors to the key zones are needed. So if you look at my base layer, like normal typing keys, I made this cyan turquoise color, and I made the F and J, the home keys, where my index fingers should reside. I made those yellow. So at a quick glance, even before I go to feel where the edge is, right, for that home key, I've got some place to kind of target my hands where I'm going to drop them. So that feels nice. You need to look into automating formal documentation so you don't have to manually write. That's not bad. Different layers get a different Scott screen. Oh, okay. Have a good one, LA Face. You fully support chat and all their hyper-specific quest for perfect keyboard colors. Maybe I should reach out to the Digma folks and figure out a way that we can let chat customize my keyboard as I'm coding on stream. So the developer, right? So these are left and right angle brackets, parentheses left and right, brackets left and right, curly braces left and right, and I made it yellow underlay underneath of it. So they do have an API for that. It would be complete chaos. Complete and utter chaos. It would just be awful. Disable keys? Yeah. Yeah. But that type of thing is something that LAFace and Nick would do. Randomly turn off ASDNF or switch them to FDSA. See, that's just wrong. When you go to their website, they have different options when buying it. What options would I choose for first-time buyers? Let's take a look. I don't mind answering that, Mark. So there's two. If you're not used to the curved columnar layout of an ergonomic keyboard, the Defy is going to have a major learning curve. However, if you take the time to do it, you see there's 16 thumb switches down here that you can get your groove on and do all kinds of stuff with. The Raise is a little bit more like your typical QWERTY keyboard. And you can stick the two halves together if you don't want to do individual hands, and you've got effectively a minimal keyboard. But you are giving up thumb switches. Things are where you expect them to be. You are giving up thumb switches. So if you're not used to it, I would check out the Raise. If you want to dive in and you're not used to it and you want to take some time adjusting, or if you are used to ergonomic keyboards, you want a really premium experience, Defy. The wireless and other features that come with it are really, really good. You get the wireless, you get the tenting, and these other features, the magnetic palm pads. They're all in there with the Raise, but the Defy is the 16 thumb cluster is where it's at in my mind. So much good stuff there. When you do look at all the accessories that come with it, like first off, they're in Spain, so it does take a little bit of time to get it. At least for me here in the States. Taking its good old time loading here. Did we swamp their website? There it goes. I got mine in black. You can set the language for your keyboard. You can choose the types of switches that you want. Why isn't it opening those up? Oh, it was making me select one first. Okay. So, English, and it gives me the typical English keys, or you can just say, give me all the dashes. Other... Right, give me English US. You can get German keys, sure. I don't... Where are they different? I'm looking for like an umlaut key out there or something. All kinds of different switches, extra switches that you can choose to add into the mix. These ones are... I got the yellows. Yeah, I got the Gatoron Pro yellows. No extra switches. I did get mine with wireless. You might not need wireless if you're planning on just use it at your at your desktop. I got mine with tenting. You might not need it. If you do want underglow, you do need to turn on these other things. But you might not. The RGB might be fine for you. But I did get mine fully loaded with yes wireless, yes the tenting, and yes underglow. So turn off some of these things, and you will get to a less expensive experience. It's really good, fully loaded. Oh, we thrive on chaos here, Hef. Made a PR on C#. Ah! Okay. Ah, there we go. Cool. You need a full 10 key on your keyboard. You do a lot of number entry. So, just turn that on. Hold down, right? Hold down an accelerator. You don't even need to hold down. I can tap, and touch one key, and it goes back to the previous. Or I can double tap, and now it's locked into that mode. So the layer shift is really powerful for you to be able to go back and forth, and you can map the 10 keys here if you want. And that was, I think, one of the default configurations they gave was, here's the 10 keys if you want them. I'm like, hey, Vite Auto, hello. Chris Jones is here. Hello. You like the MX Browns? I wanted the yellows because of the quick release. It is a bit of a learning curve. You're right, Mark. Bad habit of typing with fingers turned kind of sideways, so you hit two keys a lot. I was doing that for a while, but having these as two separate halves, I can kind of turn it so that I don't run into that. I was actually using this with the VR headset on and my Bluetooth mouse for a little bit last night. That was nice. Shift into a numpad. That's right, ground stop. Yep. I think about folks who work in accounting and finance that do use number pads a lot and navigate around Excel. To be able to jump into number mode, key in some numbers, right? And jump back and have those abilities to navigate around could be pretty compelling experience. But it's a premium experience. Could probably get pretty fast at a keyboard to switch the right hand to 10 key mode and switch back. Exactly. That's the right half. Like that's what I'm doing here is I switch to navigation mode and it rolls back. And the keys for that are right underneath my fingers. So where you would have had to reach over to the right here to go and do a dedicated set of 10 keys, they're right under where your hand is. So jump into 10 key mode tap with your thumb and with your left thumb, and you're back into regular typing. Double tap again, and you're back into 10 key navigation. Or not even double tap, just hold it down is what I do a lot. And right? Right? If I hold it down, right, I can navigate around, let go, and I'm back into typing mode. So the layer shift keys are really handy on this. I've learned so much doing it, and learned more about how it feels good to me. It is a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it is a lot. But do me a favor, click through from my page so that they know you came from me. So, you've heard linear switches are good for gaming? Yes. Have I had any issues with typing? No, but I have run into, when I'm working through an emulator, I have run into just a little bit of slowness where I'll hit a layer shift and go to type something, and the layer shift takes an extra second. Not even extra second. Takes an extra couple milliseconds, and the emulator that I'm connecting to doesn't quite pick it up. Is there only a macros keyboard you could buy? That's called a Stream Deck. That's called a Stream Deck. Or Razer makes some keyboards that have this. Is it Razer? No. Elgato makes, it's not the parent company of Elgato, makes some keyboards that have the Stream Deck keys down the left side, so that you have those dedicated over there. Wasn't episode 10 yesterday? I wasn't on yesterday. We're on 9. So, some inexpensive options from Red Dragon that line up pretty well. Okay. I might have Corsair. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes, PC nerd. Thank you. A triple dial knob. The dial knobs don't do anything for me. Like, I have one of these. Right? I have the Surface Dial. And no. It was supposed to be a thing, and it's not. Let's take a look over here. Gosh. So we're working on SharpSite. And look at this. Our friend DGB has French support for us. Sacre bleu. Thank you. That is awesome. Add French locale. Check this out. There's French added into the mix. Added some resources for French translations here. Come on, scroll down. Show me. There we go. That's great. Thank you so much. Yep, go ahead and you can run that. Make sure everything builds properly. Adds French into the list. Do we need German? Gavin, this is an open source project. I'm happy to take any language translation that that folks are familiar with. They're ready to help out and send over. If you would like to submit some German translations, go ahead and send it over, and I will happily add you to the list of our contributors here on the homepage. So there's Deepex, I forget his, DJ Deepex, MDE Bruin is there, and we'll get those. No Klingon. Team America. Okay. So there it goes. Compiled and ran. Right, all. Is it all contributors? Is that the thing? I think that's right. Yeah, all contributors. Add as a contributor with translations and code. See if it understands that and picks it up. Maybe? I'm hoping? Put a pull request together. Let's see what that pull request looks like. But in the meantime, squash and merge. And now we have an initial French support. Thank you very much. And there it is. Contributions, translations, and code. Awesome. Yep, put that one into the mix. And there we go. Translations and code. Thank you so much for the help on that. How does that all contributors work? So it's it's an app that you add into the project, and it puts a bot out there. You see it right here. Come on, give me the hover. You're not gonna, right? It's this one right here, and you talk to it and tell it, hey, add this person as a contributor, and they appear down here on the bottom. So it's not a plugin so much as it's an app that you add into your GitHub repository. So, cool. All right, so we have initial French support, and we'll see how that grows, and more features are added here, and we go to get additional help building that out. We're adding this feature to work on some static pages to build and push, right, those simple about contact us types of pages. And I'm out of coffee. I'm out of coffee, so it's time to switch to Alani. Okay. Let's and there's some other comments here about let admins set which languages should be. Yeah. Happy to take these types of discussions and figure out and plan where they're going to fit into the project. You haven't seen any of this series. Any chance for a recap? In a world where people run WordPress and the folks who manage WordPress are off their rocker, one man, one community of programmers is going to build with C# and Blazor a framework that's open source that anybody can use and run from a container. And it's going to take a really long time. Fritz and Friends. Now playing Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. How's that? Is that a good summary? Is that a good summary? Check it out. GitHub.com Fritz and Friends /SharpSite. And we're going to slowly grow this and have some fun. Yeah, really long time. We're going to get into some of the more interesting things. We're really doing basics at this point. But we're going to get into some of the more interesting things, like how do you inject a plugin so that we can customize how the framework runs? How do you inject a theme so that contributors can build CSS and HTML and lay out information that can be loaded in dynamically into the framework? How do we handle and protect against malware being loaded up? These questions, these concerns that everybody has and wants to do with their applications, we're going to build them. We're going to go after that. Some live on stream, some folks will be working on in Discord as we're going through and talking about this, and it's going to grow, and hopefully folks are inspired and take some of this and do something with it as we're going along. So Keeping SharpSite's architecture as simple and understandable as possible. Totally agree. Codebase Alpha. There are three types of people that three personas that we've identified that I want to be able to support that are building and working with this. The non-technical person that just wants to put a blog up and grab a theme that they can activate and work with. The intermediate person that wants to be able to write their own HTML, CSS, and customize their own look and feel for this. And finally, the advanced person that wants to write some code that's going to customize the look, feel, and behavior of the application. Those are the three primary personas we want to be able to support. Hey, Thindall, hello. Hey, Stephen D, good evening in Australia. Well, watching us over there on the YouTube. We're doing all right. Doing all right. So let's dive in here. We spend a lot of time here talking about keyboards and other fun stuff that's going on. So I'm working on this, supporting static pages for the site, for the right, for the framework, for the tool here, for the thing. I want to. I could probably just I could probably just split. Right, split horizontally and down here. Yeah. Let's up in here, go up in here. SharpSite, app host. And I will .NET watch this one. And we'll be able to watch this run. And so Hef was asking a little bit about .NET Aspire. Let me show you how .NET Aspire is helping with this. Because, right, it launches the .NET Aspire dashboard that is coordinating and running my Postgres database. PG admin, so I can peek into that database. The actual database instance that's created as inside that database server. A database migration service, and then my web front end down here. And of course, I get all of the distributed traces showing me exactly the steps that are going on and how they work, right? You normally pay an extra service to get these types of things, but also metrics coming in so that we can see exactly how much various resources are being used, measure, and interact with them. So that's .NET Aspire's dashboard, right? That's a starting point. We haven't done any theming or customization yet, but we've got the very basics here of presenting and showing. Here's a list of posts, here's a language chooser, and here's some administrative configuration. It is .NET Aspire. You haven't used WordPress since the 2010s? Yeah, that's been kind of crazy. While you feel that Automatic is being a bit scorched earth nuclear about enforcing, you do side with WordPress. WP Engine built a poor business model and violated the license. My concern with WordPress is the consistent legal action that they're taking, not just against WP Engine, but the negative and, quite frankly, mean interactions that they're taking with folks who are contributors and valuable members of their community. It's a little unhinged. A little. Let me get the Gunnar Marins on here. Let me bring in that French, right? That French translation. Check this out. So since I've got watch running up there, it'll automatically rebuild and add in those capabilities. I'll jump over to my main branch, pull the upstream main. Right, there's the French translations coming in there. So let me jump. Oh, yeah, push that up. Jump back over to my feature branch I'm working on and merge in those changes. Yep. And, go ahead, force the restart. Now you just use Hugo. Honestly, I couldn't get Hugo working. And it was very, very frustrating to me. So I'll just... wrong key. And now I have French. And I can swap to French. Dutch. Some of these don't have names yet. Nice. Works out very quickly, loads and presents the translation for those menus. Yeah, CI/CD I understand is very good with Hugo. Well, because it's all static generated, right? So, all right, moving on. So I have that running up there. So down here, let's run VS Code, dive back in and pick up where we left off. I have no idea where we left off. Where did we leave off? Supported cultures. Added memory cache for the pages. Oh, we were fighting a bunch of running issues with the database connecting back and forth. GitLab, really? Really? I mean, you're welcome to use it, but really? More extensions to be updated? All right, whatever. Go ahead, update them. So I think we were about to do, yeah, page admin. So we built a page here to list the existing pages, but we don't have a create new page content page. So let's start building this to allow you to create the content that'll appear on the page. So this will be the edit page Razor page. So I'm going to go up here into this. Well, I thought I had an admin. Yeah, there's admin. So new file, and I'm just going to call this edit page dot Razor. And we're going to get a little bit of help from Copilot. No. Admin, edit page, yeah. Now, don't need you. I don't think I need you or this one. There's page list. So the link to a page has a page ID on the end, and the page ID, I believe, is a GUID. I think it's a GUID. Nope, it's an int. All right, fine. Yeah, like that. So, set up the code for this. I don't know what that's doing yet. I'm not even going to look at it yet, but that looks pretty good to start. I don't know. Maybe. No. This can be null. And we'll just jump over here. Get rid of that. We need a page repository. Yes. Inject one of those, please. Thank you. Really? Did I get page takes a slug. Okay, we need one that takes an int. Thank you. Over to PG page repository, and we need one of those. So go implement that. Thank you. Who that? Eames Beckett? Thank you so much. No, I did Control F. What? Get page. This one. Let's see if it'll just fill it in for me. Yeah, get the page with a given ID. Go get it. There you go. Can we just do that? And put a big ol' weight on this, John? What don't you like? Need to convert. Okay. Right. Yeah, like that. Now... I want you to... That select should be up in here. But even then, that's... No. No. Get rid of that. Where'd it go? Don't want to return right there. No. Just give me the cast. Thank you. Developers. This just feels weird, right? What feature are we working on? We're working on building pages and a page admin section, so you can generate that about page, that contact me. Yeah, we're gonna build a better WordPress. It's gonna take a while, but we'll get there. Feel like your brain is broken? You're so used to MVC, you can't transition to Razor pages. Do I have any suggestions? Just dive in and do it. Razor pages are the view of your MVC controller, right? Your view in the MVC model, and the code behind that goes with the Razor page is your controller. So, started making your own tutorials? Hey, that's cool. You have an old site that has many plugins and they want to update, some break the site, so I revert. Custom WordPress CMS that uses the old Unity API. Should you update to the latest? For security reasons, you should update to the latest, but you're going to have a hard amount of work to get there. Hey, smirking squiggly. Hello. Oh, you're very welcome, Eames Beckett. Is this a C#? This is C#. You can run WordPress on top of C# using a tool called Peach Pie. And this will let you compile and run PHP on top of .NET. So you can from .NET call into PHP code, and from PHP code call into .NET. So that is absolutely a thing that you can do with full .NET interoperability, going back and forth. They do have support for running WordPress on top of the .NET, on top of .NET 8. So, Yeah, that is Peach Pie. You can check out there. That is not a Microsoft project. That is a group of folks that are building and integrating. If I'd used the double question mark, see, I want it to return null if it is null. Double question mark isn't going to do it. So, double question mark would give me a default if it is null. So, I think for now that'll work. So back over here, that should work. No, what's the name of the method? Add page, that's it. And that needs to be... No, that will be something, so we can just do that. And at the save time... Yeah. If ID does not equal 0, sure. And what do we got for this one? No, don't fix it. I think it's just save page. Did I not do... I don't think we did. Nav manager, navigate. Yeah, sure. Inject a navigation manager. Thank you. Cool. But did we not do... No, we don't have an update page. Darn it. Give me an update page. Can you hear me? Yeah, there we go. And back over here. Implement it. Right, and yeah. Update the existing page in the database. Sure, go ahead and do that. Okay. Yep. Now, I think didn't I inject memory in here? iMemory cache? Yeah. So I should flush the cache of pages when we update a page. So let's, oops. Get rid of that. Yep, clear that out. All right, back over here. So now that's a thing. That right, update page, taking a page. You make me sad. Sure. Okay. So now I want to put in page title, content with the text area. Okay. Now there is a required element on this. Right? It's still... Slug must be set. Go ahead, suggest a slug. And we need to identify and set the slug when the first save happens here. Thank you. Format and set the slug. Yeah, based on the title. That might be good enough. That might be good enough for here. Hey, D. Wallach, good call. Thanks. How am I able to stream on the .NET channel? Do I work for Microsoft? I'm not on the .NET channel. I'm on my channel. Yeah, I do stream occasionally on the .NET channel, but I do work for Microsoft. I'm not streaming there today. Next week we'll be running .NET Conf. And we'll be showing off and doing fun stuff over there. When I used to, yeah, I program and teach for Microsoft. Yes. I have more content to write before I get back on the .NET channel, but yes. Hey, Pellin! Hello! Look, code. How's things, Pellin? Now, hang on. I got to ask a question here for our friend Pellin there in chat. I think it's Pellin. I've heard your screen name pronounced by different people different ways. Is it Pellin or is it Pelon? Let me know. I'm going to make sure that I pronounce that right. And then shame folks who were saying it the wrong way. Oh, thank you, Ames Backett. That's very kind. Making the world a better place. Because I'm social, mobile, and local. I'm so mo low. Or is it low mo so? Not mo so low. But mo is probably the last one. So maybe I'm so low mo. Yeah. That's right. Code. Look at that. It's actually Spanish slang for baldy. And pronouncing it, there is no pronouncing it correctly because you're a white guy as part of the joke. Ah, Pel-un is probably most common. Got it. Got it. All right. This looks like a good start, but for the content here on my post page, I have a rich text editor that I can use. So let's use that. Right? Edit post. And there's a rich text editor in here. Here's the post description there, text editor. You're coming with me. So one key to post, to paste right there. Right, and that should do it. Let's see what this looks like. Let's change this to say either create a new page or editing page. Yeah. Johan!
Johab just resubscribed for 70 months.
Thank you so much. 70 months with us, bringing that Prime subscription. Much appreciated, Johan. And I'll be making another donation to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Oh my gosh, Lucky Luke saying I'm the best C# mentor in all of Pennsylvania. Well, that's very kind. Pennsylvania is a good-sized state here in these United States. If you are in the Philadelphia region in December, first week of December, I think it is, Philly.net is having me out to give every year in December, first or second week of December, I forget which one it is, but you can find it on the Philly.net user group website. I'm giving a free in-person talk at Philly.net, okay? Doing the wrap-up of .NET Conf talking about all cool things .NET 9, .NET Aspire, Blazor. We're gonna go through and do all the .NET Conf wrap up, and just for my Philly.net folks, I'm gonna have a boatload of swag for you. Special .NET swag that you can get if you come out to the user group. Okay, that's coming up. I believe it's the first week of December. It's on my schedule. I've got to go review it. I'm not even thinking further than next week at this point. But absolutely, if you're in Philadelphia, if you're in Allentown, if you're out towards Harrisburg, and you want to come out to Malvern, Pennsylvania, that's where the Microsoft office is, where Philly.net meets. I'm going to be doing a live in-person wrap-up of .NET Conf. If you're not in the area, that's okay. I got you too. I think we're eyeballing January. We're going to do a wrap-up of .NET Conf live on this channel, with all the chaos, with guests, with discussions and code samples, and talking to you the whole time, coming up in January. All right? You're excited about .NET Conf? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Always something great at .NET Conf. It's weird that we say at .NET Conf when it's a virtual event and you're going to watch it right here on this thing. You're going to be able to see it. It's weird to say at when it's all online. So, I need to fix some of these things here, right? The localizer for this, right? I can actually. Can I do something down here? Can I call this private string? Let's call this page title. Close. Right, localizer like that. Yeah. Now, why isn't it? Let's start off string empty. We could do something like this page title equals, yeah, there it is, localizer. Yeah. And here I can say this page title. Yeah, that works. So then we can replace this with this page title. I still need to create those two for edit page and new page. Yeah. Well, I do have new page. Don't have edit page, do I? Can we sort this? We can't sort this. And now I feel shame. SharpSite, edit page. Label for editing a page on the page edit page, which sounds so weird to say, but work with me here, chat room. I think it works. Let's edit post. Okay. New page. That came through. I still need to get title, content, and get this. That editor should have applied. I don't know why it didn't. Really need to fix that. Ad breaks coming in 5 minutes. Sulainen Captini asks, what is .NET? Let me come back to you in just a second, because that's a longer answer. While we're creating new things, can we create a certain gov site so it doesn't take a minute to change selections? Oh, high-tech redneck, I'm with you. Johan answering, saying .NET is a free open-source developer platform used for building a wide range of applications. It allows developers to build apps for web, mobile, desktop, cloud, IoT, gaming, and AI using a single code base. Fantastic. So, right, unlike there are other tools, languages, and frameworks where you choose to use Go, and that's a language. There happens to be a package manager that goes with it so that you can get other blocks of code and already created components that you can include and use in building your application. Unlike Go or Rust or JavaScript, where it's a language that has a bunch of things built around the language, .NET is a complete development experience and ecosystem that includes multiple languages. C#, Visual Basic, and F# are the three primary languages that are built and maintained by Microsoft. They're all open source. There's a package manager, just like those other tools, called NuGet, free and open source, with a website where you can download and install those components to work with your application. As mentioned, you can build for anything as big as the cloud or as small as an IoT device. You can build games, you can build mobile applications, you can build websites, all kinds of stuff that you can do with it. Lots of freedom for you and what you build and work with, and capabilities to do it. It is all free and open source and available on GitHub. It works on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Out of the box, at the command line. There are editors out there that have fantastic tooling that are dedicated to make your development experience as productive as you may want to be. So that's what .NET is. Why am I using string localizer when you can access the name directly using my resources save with the regex? I like the idea of having the string out there to be able to interact with, and having it injected and being able to have that consideration to swap it to something else later if that's a consideration at a later time. We're using the interface, so we have that flexibility to make a decision later. While right now it's a regex, we could make it a JSON file. We could make it a CSV later. So, you had a question regarding update sitemap last mod when adding or update a page. Did I mean to invalidate the cache when this happens? Or what is the issue about? Yeah, invalidate the cache so it rebuilds. Yes. .NET is very performant according to benchmarks from third-party organizations like Tech Empower. Yeah, .NET is extremely fast when you talk about building an application. Very, very flexible, very, very fast capabilities that you have to build and work with that. Oh, our friend Dee. Yes. Oh no. So next week is .NET Conf. Next week, we have an attendee party that you can watch, participate in, and have a good time at. And every year there is going to be fun and developer chaos and laughing and a good time talking and doing things around tech and thanking our sponsors that are helping out with promoting the event and building stuff with .NET along the way. But we do weird stuff every year. And this time we're going to do Nailed It. We're going to be making .NET bots. And this is Dee Dee's first attempt at building a .NET bot with Rice Krispie treats. Right? Not quite. But we're going to be doing this live on camera with a timer. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. I hope you tune in and join. You have a chance to win all kinds of swag. There are Amazon gift cards. There are Xboxes. There are all kinds of things that you can win Check it out at .netconf.net. All the time I must feel like this? I do. I do feel a little bit like the Truman Show sometimes. Yes, indeed. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, yes, there you go. Goodbye. All right, so we're working on getting this done. At an EU-friendly time? No. I'm sorry. We've done double code parties in the past, and it's really hard to do. So, you think .NET, C# is more your style? Okay. You tried Python some years back as your first language, did not like it. Tried Java, didn't like it. Tried C++, and then learned C#, and it's been your thing. It has to be. I feel the same way. Ads have just started for the next 2 minutes. Let me keep editing this while we're at ads, and I'll come back over. And we'll talk more with folks. Title. I thought, don't we have a title over here? Yeah, title. It's right there. So I should be able to grab that same thing out of the localizer, right? There's a title there. Right there. Edit post title. I can probably consolidate those two to just title. Like, I'm just going to grab this one and just use that. Like, why not? Right, and content. Is there a content? Yeah, it's this one also. We can refactor that. Page admin, new page. There we go. Title, content. You should probably fix that. Yeah, I am aware of the ads. Yes, yes, indeed. So I'm finishing creating and building this ability to create pages and manage them. And after they're created, they should appear over here in this initial design and layout. The theme, modifying that, enhancing that is going to be what we're going to get to in the next little bit of design here. Getting these base features working, we'll be able to move them around as we add the initial capabilities to do formatting and layout and those capabilities. 5 seconds to go on the ads. Coming back. Welcome back, friends. It's great to see you back from the ads. Those of you that got wrapped up on the ads there on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, of course there's no ads on YouTube because YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube and I'm on a really big TV at your home, at your place of work, in the middle of the square, somewhere out there, I don't know, maybe, I don't remember what these buttons do. Oh, there. That's the ones I'm thinking. Maybe we're in the middle of the square like this. Hello. And people are driving by. Hi, it's me. It's Jeff. I'm here in the middle. Maybe I'm over here on the right. I don't know. Or over there. Or right, if you're watching, you put me up on the big sign outside your place of work, and you want to share that, hey, Fritz is out there broadcasting. Hello. Oh, hey, be careful there. It's late in that part of the world. Folks driving by. It's okay. Let me know. Let me know where you're watching from. If you got a big TV you're watching on. We're right here. It's just me. It's Jeff writing code with you. So, but those of you that are watching out there on the street, on the side of the street like this, take it easy. I'm going to go back over to the code. All right. So I'm going to be over there. This is my camera outside watching and tuning in. You saw me on the video billboards?
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
93% certainty. 93% certainty it's the Voodoo Donuts hat. Let me head back over to the code. Yeah, we're going to get back over in there. In the home office. Very cool. Very cool. So, for some reason, though, my text editor component here isn't showing the rich text editor. And right, I'd like these to be on separate lines. You know what I'm saying? Can we put these on a separate line? You're not going to do it automatically for me? Right? Like, come on. Okay, they're on separate lines now, but it's not the full size. You're on the dining. I'm on the dining room table. Cool. Thank you, Genga. Why am I not getting? And this should be one line. Okay, and over here, I feel like I need a little bit more room above the save button. Like, can we do, what is it? MY-2? Something like that. Maybe. Margin in the Y direction. Yeah, that's better. But that text editor should have picked up and... Right, so we'll just force that to restart. Okay, now listening, yeah. Are you now listening? Prove it. No, it didn't. It still didn't give me the text editor for this. Because if I go over to posts, create a new post, see, I get the text editor down there for the content. Uh-oh, edit post save isn't a thing. Hang on, we can fix that. We can fix that. Don't I have a save button? There it is. Fix that. Right, that's going to be in like edit post. Hang on. Okay. Refresh that. Yes, rejoining the server. I know you are. There it is. Save now. Would I consider working with Fluent UI Blazor? Yeah, I'd consider it. Sure. I'm trying to make things, though, flexible so that we can swap in those types of components optionally later. So, that's why this is referencing just text editor instead of text area. And text editor is a component sitting right there. And it shows a markdown editor. But for some reason, it's not working. Like, edit post. Is there something I'm missing here that this has that I need to put on here? Output cache store. Which we probably need to do at some point. No, I don't see anything. See how it flushes the sitemap and RSS right there? But for the page, there's got to be something missing here. That text editor isn't rendering, right? So if I go to page admin, new page, and it's not picking up. Render mode. Render mode. Render mode. Well done, Blazor Mr. Magoo. Yes. Mario coins to you. Well done. Save that. Let this reload. Now we've got content. Yep, Mario coins for you. There you go. Right? Everybody. And you know what? If you get enough Mario coins, they're in a treasure chest. So, you were working on a Fluent UI Blazor version, got caught up by graduation, trial to finish it. Hey, that's cool. Yeah, rubber ducking totally works. Totally works. Right? Half of me just sitting here talking to you and working through things figures out some of this stuff. right? So, about my cool site. This is a cool site that was built by Fritz. We think it's a fun tool to use. Yeah, that's fine. All right, try and save. Hey. Yes, the file is edit page, so that when I do click edit to go into it now I'm on edit page. And it's got that content. So let's take this guy and let's make it like this. And italic. Save that. So and look, it already popped up over here. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. I got this. So I do use the edit page for both. Yes, indeed. So we need to get the page route wired up so that it displays the content of the page. Before I do that, save changes, right? What do we got here? I've got the new edit page. I've got my English updates. Just add all the things. First version of edit page. There we go. And we got the French translations in here, so that's a good start, right? I think we're going to end up cleaning this up just a little bit. I think we're also going to want to output cache the pages aggressively. But there's a whole challenge that's going to come with that. And quite frankly, I'm not going to work on it right now because it's not too big a deal. Output cache the pages. For custom pages that are built and added to the site, output cache should be used to minimize the amount of database interaction for these non-interactive pages. I'll just leave it out there if somebody wants to take a look and work on this. But we're just building and adding and figuring out features here, and then we'll tune and do performance improvements, stuff like that as we get through this. Would cache be on the server or optionally on a caching server? Hey, Steve. I think both are great options. External Redis is a fantastic option. I think for our initial configuration, I think we're caching on the server. Yeah, I didn't add Redis. But I think that is an option, a plugin to turn on later. That makes perfect sense. How you turn on that architecture and add it into the mix is a system admin feature that as we start to define some of those system admin plugins, extensions, and capabilities, I think that's the first of a class of type of extensions that, because we know how easy it is to add that in, we can kind of use that as a model to build extensions like that. You think people will be fine with on a server, but larger companies might like that as an option? Yeah. Way on board, Steve. Makes perfect sense. So how we doing over there, YouTube? I see a bunch of folks watching on YouTube today. My goodness, we might dare I say break a record of YouTube viewers, because I don't usually have that many people watching on YouTube. We've got a bunch of friends watching on Twitch today. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, the pages that we put out there have that. Where did it go? I think we just put the house. Yeah. Here. For each of the pages. Can we put something else in there instead? Like, what other components do we have? Is there something else we can use? Navbar toggler, house door fill, plus square. Sure, let's do plus square. U. Right? Use that instead. Feels bad, man. Did I not put that in right? I did. I didn't do it right. Hey there, Final Stack!
Final Stack just resubscribed for 41 months.
41 months. Thank you so much for that support. And I'll be making a donation to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Tool, how you doing there? Tool, Adarillus. I know I botched that. After a month of Linux, can you ask my key takeaways? Presume I'm not new to Linux. No, I've been using Linux since 1996. How's that strike you? 1996. The fact that I said a year that starts with 19 is gonna like make some of the younger folks watching like shiver. So what am I most stark contrast, positive, negative? Linux just gets out of the way. Building and working with things. Say that. That said, though, while I have so much control over everything that I do and interact with, it's a pain in the neck to have to go and configure and manage and move all those things around. And as a developer that wants to be able to focus on what I do best, I want that stuff to get out of my way, and quite frankly, Windows does that better. However, I'm having a lot of fun kind of stretching my arms and getting around Linux a bit here. So I've been having fun with that. Windows 11 is a catastrophe? Tell me more. Why? Why do you say that? And please note, there are folks from the Windows team watching. So, all right, so I have to get this page working. You love Windows 11? Okay, there you go. I hate to say this, but I'm going to create the page. That sounds so weird. Let's call this display page. .resor. Now, there's a trick to this. This is going to be a slug. And it's not a file. There's a way that I did this. Hey, Aztec Consulting, hello.
Aztec Consulting just resubscribed for 50 months. The big 50 finally. Still not nearly enough support for all your hard work.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Let me bring up the ASP.NET for routing parameters. Oh, I just saw some hearts fly by on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. There are routing constraints here that we're going to add in and use. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, I want to do a min length. Yeah. And I can't remember if you can... Yeah, you can chain some of these together. So I want a min length... And it's alpha. No, just do min length. It's going to be min length 5. Yeah. Because I'm going to say 4 and smaller for other areas. And quite frankly, these then should be like Atom, ADM. Let's come back to that. Yeah, because the error page we're going to have to figure out what to do with. That's the nothing page. That's an int with a slug. But the display page, yeah. Sure, I need mark dig, that's fine. I don't want to, no, I don't want that one. I want the page repository. Yep, that's fine. No, no HR. Give me the code block. And I see some other comments there in chat. I will go to those in just a second. Get page by slug. I can't add that. What if I made this required like that? No. Sure. I think this needs to be... Nah, that'll be alright. Get page by slug, why don't you like that? I think it's just get page. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I want paragraph around this. Yeah, let's see what happens with that. Catching up on chat. Let me see here. Hef says Microsoft... wait. Tool says, doing mostly C++ and systems programming, feel like Linux gets out of the way. Yeah, you're down lower on the metal on that. I get it, Tool. Yep. Hef says, Microsoft morphing back into the Gates-Ballmer era we all grew up to hate, forcing stuff that nobody asked for. Recall was the last straw. So... I hear you. However, 25 years since the "you're forcing a browser on us" issue that so many folks screamed about in 1997, 1998, and led to the SEC investigation in 1999 and the infamous Bill Gates testimony. Microsoft is forcing a browser on us. We don't want that. Microsoft was 10 years ahead of Google and Apple doing that. Microsoft is not allowed to bundle and ship a browser as default and you're required to use in the operating systems by US government and EU decree. However, when you buy an iPhone, an iPad, or an Android device, by default, you get Safari, Chrome on those. You're not allowed to install and write a different browser for Apple iPhone or iOS or iPad. You're not. Microsoft, they must have, by default, on the operating system, a way for you to swap out and use a different browser. It's required by government decree. Windows has a legal constraint on it that says how the features must be built and enabled so that folks can swap them out by choice. Competing operating systems in the space do not have that constraint because Microsoft got there 5 to 10 years earlier. When Microsoft decides to build and add features into Windows, quite literally, everything has to be reviewed by some sort of a group that's going to measure what's the impact that the government decree and constraints is going to measure and enforce on this. Are we going to run into trouble? Recall is a feature that many folks already have on their machines that they use, particularly in legal and consulting spaces, so that they can remember exactly what they did and measure how much consulting work that they did for various folks. It's not a required feature, but it was a feature that they were building and going to deliver and give this AI capability to be able to search for and remember what you worked on. You think that type of feature isn't going to be there in the other operating systems? And you think that Microsoft should be artificially prevented from creating a feature that everybody else is going to add? And here we are 25 years after those government decrees from the EU, from the US government, and they're still on Microsoft. And they forced Edge and Internet Explorer before it to be a minimally used browser on the internet, quite literally destroyed a business line from Microsoft and didn't put those same constraints on competitors. That's anti-competitive when you start doing that. You say, well, yes, you're inventing something. You're not allowed to do that, but your competitors are. That's anti-competitive. You're not giving, right? You're not giving capabilities for folks to want to invest and grow their features. So think about it. Maybe use a prefix like /page. I was thinking about that. Noldor, is that how you pronounce that? Could do that. I could do /p/ something. Let's tinker with this and see what we come up with. 1999. Take a look. Microsoft, the Microsoft Securities Exchanges Commission, right? Investigated Microsoft, and they were actually going to break up Microsoft. There was going to be Windows Incorporated and Microsoft, the rest of the company. That was on the table, and this was just before .NET was made available. So, yep, 2000, the federal judge was ordering the breakup of Microsoft. But the IE install by default created that gap. Razor isn't a programming language, Darcy. It's a template language template format that uses C# as the programming language, merged with it formats HTML, so you'll see HTML, JavaScript, and CSS floating around in there also. But C# is the programming language in there. April 2000 is when it came down. Thank you for the link there, Pelin. Tech job economy tanked after that. Yep. The SEC was very much after Microsoft in a big way because folks were saying, gosh, you're not being fair to folks that want to build and deliver features. If Microsoft gets there first, should they be prevented from being able to compete? You're seeing this now with Google in advertising. You're seeing this with Apple and the iPhone store. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying what goes around comes around. What happened once for Microsoft in 25 years has happened for all the phones and other devices, computing devices that you use. So, no, Windows 7 was not bare. No, it wasn't. There were games and apps on Windows 7 also that came with it. And OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, would load their own stuff on top of it. Windows 11's recall feature on the desktop is a no-no for privacy. That's your call. Have I ever tried Q Sharp for checking out how it feels? No, Quantum was never a thing for me. Yeah, there's always been crapware that ships with Windows. And like I said, OEMs can add stuff to it. All right. Let's see if this actually works. Like, I'm intrigued. I just kind of threw this out here. What? Did my mouse just disconnect? Come on now. Somebody tell the Razer folks I'm using a Bluetooth Razer mouse over here. Compared to the bloat on 8 and 10, 7 was bare. Oh no, the bloat has grown. The amount of extra stuff that ships with the operating system has grown over the last 20 years. Yes. So, no doubt, there is more stuff that ships with the operating system. However, in the 25 years since Windows 7 was first released, right? Windows Millennium is 25 years ago. Call it 20 years ago since Windows 7. Doesn't matter. It's 20 years. The expectations from a consumer of what comes out of the box on their computing device has significantly changed. Significantly changed. The new Microsoft Store Windows apps for desktop comes out of the box on a Mac. Comes out of the box on an Android device, on an iOS device. That's what consumers want now. Might not be you. You don't have to use it. But that's what consumers want now. So there are ways to trim that down, no doubt. But the thing that folks need to keep in mind here is the markets for iOS, Android, and Windows aren't a couple thousand people, a couple million people. They're billions of people. There are billions of installs of Windows, billions of installs of Android, billions of installs of iOS. So they're going to make a base level that has stuff that's good for the low level, less tech enthusiastic person. Things like app stores, things like pre-installed browsers, pre-installed text editors like Notepad. And they're going to put in stuff that's for advanced folks that want to customize and do whatever they'd like as well. It's a broad audience that they're trying to address. And I'm not talking about just Windows here. I'm talking about just operating system vendors in general. And it's a cultural management conundrum when you try and decide, how do we support our customers? The things they put in the box are planned and discussed, and in the case of Windows, handled with kid gloves because of government oversight. You don't have that on Linux, Mac, iOS, and Android. Chromebooks, you don't have that oversight that is looking at every single little thing that is added to the operating system. If recall was added to Windows, not only were there Microsoft vice presidents and so forth that reviewed and said, yes, add this, but there were customers and even potentially government folks who said, okay, you can add that feature. Where was I here? So let's get this to rebuild. Back over to Firefox.
Developers.
Let's see if it picks that up. Hey, there it goes. Joe, welcome. How you doing there, Joe? Your Winget comes out of the box. My non-technical family members don't know a thing about Winget, but it's in the box. For them, that's bloatware. For them, regedit is bloatware. So, right, your point is very well made. There's a lot more stuff that ships with the operating systems now. No doubt. Completely agree with you. But what some people consider bloat and unnecessary, other folks consider a key feature. And it's maintaining that balance that's a tricky tightrope for folks to walk. So, and being able to turn on and off and say, yes, go and add this feature to my operating system, I think is a magnificent thing. And recall is supposed to be an optional feature that is not turned on by default. And you have to go and explicitly say, yes, I want this. That said, though, I do not have firsthand knowledge of using recall. I am not on that team. I do not speak for Microsoft on that. Yeah, I believe from what I read on blog posts that recall is opt-in. So, what you call backlash, other folks call feedback. Hateful feedback, you can call backlash. So, but like I said, I have some very close friends that work in a district attorney's office, that work in a public defender's office, that love the idea of recall. Love it. Because everything that's talked about and planned and searched for and looked at by them and measuring their time and billing time back to customers, they love that. Yes, do that. It's not the cup of tea for some folks, and that's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. That worked. Do these other pages still work? Oh yeah. Cool. So if I go back over to page admin and I delete this.
Developers.
AP Main, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Miracudav, hello, welcome. Yeah, it's going to be great for digital forensics, stuff like that, no doubt. But I appreciate it's not a feature for everybody. Completely agree. I don't think delete did what we thought it was. Yeah, that didn't do a thing here. Back over here, let's take a look at... It's not on edit, it's on like page list. There's a delete button. It should call delete page with that page ID. Await, delete page, page ID, and then get pages. So, back over here, delete page, delete page, delete page, delete page. Ah, there it is. Pages remove, save changes, cache remove, pages. So it should have reloaded that. Okay, take a look at the console. Okay. 11:16. Okay, so what happens when I click delete? Uh-oh. I don't think... Oh! Oh! Blazer Mr. Magoo had pointed this out before. I'm on... I know what this is. I know what this is. Need a render mode. Need a render mode because you're clicking a button. Did I? That should have rebuilt. So now if I click delete, okay, I needed to rebuild over here also. So, hard refresh brought it back. So maybe when we do a delete, oops. Oops. Go down to the bottom. So maybe here. No. Let's inject navigation manager. Navit, thank you. And let's go to the bottom. Thank you. And I want to force it to refresh, which I think is true. Is that? Yeah, force load. So that it does the reload. So let's create a new page. Another page. This is another page. Okay. So there's another page. And if I do a delete, yeah, there it goes. It deleted it. There we go. Is that everything? Is that all I need? Why is it I can't type clear? I need to add all the things. Completed the custom page display. Oh, darn it. I think that's all I need for this feature. Let me catch up with chat and chat, I want you to double check with me that confirm with me that I've got all this built. I think there are some things like ordering that still need to be done here. Phase 2. Come back to that. Curious how I'll do the sidebar without interactivity. Reckon the rest of the page is static. The sidebar is... There's no interactivity there for right now. Well, right, those are types of things that I think we can add and consider as we start to allow introduction of extensions to the framework. You can create event handler and nav menu component that will refresh posts. I could, but why not just force a reload? Right? Delete the pages from the in-memory cache, force a reload. Amount of times you've had to audit infrastructure to make sure it's still functioning. Yeah. That's a thing. What am I using for the rich text editor? The rich text editor I have down here. It is the PSC Blazor Component Markdown Editor. You can find a reference to this package inside the project. This is completely open source, so you are welcome to take a look, actually, and I have a link to it right there, PSC Blazor Components Markdown Editor. And I'm using MarkDig to format the Markdown on posts and pages. So, there you go, Ninja Ola. Media Junkie, welcome in. Hello, just stumbled upon this. What's the context of this project? Are we over the WordPress genre and making a better one? That's the goal, Media Junkie. It's going to be a long process, but we're building some of these base level things and talking about and showing some of the introductory concepts and features using C# to build a website here on Linux. So, there you go. I am on Visual Studio 2022 when I'm on Windows. Reload will only remove it for the admin, but not for the normal user. So it clears it out. When the delete happens, it clears it out from the in-memory cache. So for the normal user that's navigating and moving around the site, it'll still be there. However, when they leave and come back, it'll be removed. And they'll get a 404 for the page, right? Not a 404. They'll get a not found. Right, so what was it? Another page, and we'll get page not found right now. And we can, right, here's another thing that we can customize and make appear however we'd like for the page not found display, right? There's some customization to that folks are going to want to be able to do. Allow customization of the page not found content. And you know what? For right now, just to kind of lean into where that is, let's go. Where was it? Not Postgres. I'm not looking at database stuff right now. Close everything else. Right, so on the display page, right? Let's take this and create a page not found component. Right? And we'll move that out here with the rest of our components. And for right now, paste that in. Back over here, we'll just put done. Now, this should be localized. So let's do that localization as well while I'm here. Yep. So this will be SharpSite, page not found. Paste that in. Page not found. Text. Something like that. And what might be nice, is to have a go to the home page, back to home. There we go. I have a back to home. Well, hang on. Where was it? Page not found. Let's grab that first. And we want to inject the localizer on that, right? At inject I string localizer. Actually, I don't need to inject. It's already there, isn't it? So we can just... Right. Localizer. This. One of these. That. Done. Right? And I can do that back to home. right? No, no, no. No, not quite. I want an A tag. href equals. Take you back to the root, right? Yeah. And then I'm going to do localizer. And back to home. Right? Paste that in. End quote. End bracket. But the ability to customize that is definitely a thing. Uh-oh. Parenthesis expected in page not found Razor GS. What did I do? No, that's all good. Rebuild. C# has been impressive as a product. Microsoft has built one of the fastest technologies. Thank you. There it goes. Page not found, back to home. And, right, we'll figure out a nice way to customize and put a sensible themed default there. But for right now, it looks okay. ASP.NET consistently ranks in the top 10 of web benchmarks. I totally agree, Hef. So, and what you're describing, there is... I got to be careful how I talk about this. I've gotten in trouble for talking about this. There are different divisions at Microsoft, and they have different perspectives and ways that they do business. The developer division has a very open, inclusive way that they think about, build, and make products. And you see that reflected in .NET and the other developer tools that Microsoft makes. If this is a serious full project, Page is going to need a tree structure. Okay. Noldor, I think you're right. That's a little bit further along. Right? There's stuff like that you're right. We're going to, and because right now what's Pages and right now a sidebar over there on some websites might be a drop-down list, might be a menu bar going across the top. That type of configuration, while no doubt is something that needs to be built, we're getting some of these minimal levels of what those features are designed and written so that we can add those enhancements and customize them later. And quite frankly, because it's open source, folks that want to help out, that do have some insight and thoughts around what that feature is, can jump in and help build that capability. So, not disagreeing with you. Do me a favor. Can you open an issue to just talk about, hey, Pages will need a hierarchical structure, and put some thoughts in the description. What some of your thoughts about how those capabilities should work. And we can talk about them as we get into working on menuing and some of those capabilities, because you're absolutely right. I don't want to go too far down into any one feature because we'll end up rat holing on it and bike shedding it. And oh gosh, is this perfect? Does this do all the things that I want? Yes, no, maybe. Let's build just enough so that it moves along and it gets the feature working, and we'll keep going at that point, right? We added enough to make localization work. Great. We had a friend jump in and give us a French translation today. Fantastic. As other folks jump in and say, hey, I'd like to help out and give a German translation, a Brazilian Portuguese translation, whatever it might be. That's right, I said Brazil. Anyways, they can be added, folks can contribute, and we can grow our community with folks that are able to pick up and build pieces of this. So, hey, Robson Previato, hello. So, is it Blazor WebAssembly? this is right now. It's only Blazor interactive server. We're holding back on when to add WebAssembly. It's going to come in, but we're taking our time and trying to figure out exactly when the right time is to add WebAssembly. Because right now, don't think we need it. It might make some sense to instead of doing interactive server, do WebAssembly for some of these pieces. We'll get there. We'll get there. Fortunately, for those of you that are familiar with Blazor, you know this. Fortunately, if we do want to make the decision between having something run interactively on the server or run interactively as WebAssembly natively in the browser, we can move those components back and forth easily. I don't want to say it's something that we can do without thinking about it, but we can move them back and forth with not too many bumps in the road. Xbox One Online says, what if you are on a French language and you navigate to another page? Does it save the language? Absolutely. So, right, there we're on French. And if we click through, it does remember and carry along the language. It saves, right? If I show you here, let me show you. Inside the navigation piece, right? So here's the nav manager, and you can see down here at the bottom, there's a language picker component. And if we jump over to the language picker component, right? So it does this. Here's the supported cultures, and it just outputs a series of pills right now. We suspect that we're going to need to refactor this into a drop-down list. But for right now, a list of pills was the pull request that we got from MDE Bruin, and I'm cool with letting that grow, and let's see what that looks like. But when you set culture, right, navigation get URI with query parameter, and it navigates. But what it does here, right, when it navigates, it actually saves that preference so that it carries it along for you. And it's in, I think, isn't it in program? Or I think we moved it up in here. So configuring the request localization. So we add localization and it picks up and it carries that along. So where else? Where else do we need here? I think. Right, and I also, when you mouse over these, I also have it display in the native language for that language. That language, right? So, of course, over here it says English United States, and down here Netherlands. So it does remember that Xbox One Online. Thanks for the double check on that. We need to start introducing integration tests here at some point. We're going to want to get Playwright on board. I think that's a great test, Xbox One Online, to set a language and make sure that it persists and remembers that. Or we open the browser with a preferred language that is something that is known, right? You open the browser, you navigate here, and you are in a browser that's configured for French. Does it pick up and by default show you the French translations, right? Those types of initial tests, just to make sure that the configuration works, are probably a good Playwright test for us to introduce here. So, yep, Hef is right. We need a foundation before we put the framing up. Pages needing parent pages. Well, then they need grandparent pages and great-grandparent pages and baby pages and so on and so forth pages. Does Blazor have any assists for handling displays for pages? Phone, PC, tablet? Well, it's not Blazor so much as you can bring in CSS and do that. Do that responsive detection and interaction. We're on... I think the ads were supposed to start here. I thought I just saw the banner go by. There's a lot of capabilities there in CSS for you to do that. Folks have built components that will allow you to detect and execute Blazor code appropriately, if you'd like to do that. It is a developer's responsibility to implement things right. While it is a developer's responsibility, what's nice is that frameworks like Blazor and ASP.NET Core come with a default set of opinionated tools that will help you get somewhere, be productive, and do the things that you want to accomplish, while facilitating that there are new features, capabilities, and an immense ecosystem out there that has more complex and advanced capabilities available for you. There we go. The ads are running for the next 2 minutes, but the pre-roll ads are disabled for the next hour. Let me double check. No, I'm not on that. Okay. Somebody thought I was in New York City today. No, I'm not. And that's at one. All right, so I've got about a half hour, 45 minutes to keep going here. Just keeping an eye on things. Cool. Continuing on here. Should language selection be visible on the URL? In one school of thought, yes. To me, I don't want it to be. Because then everybody gets the same URL. And the website will decide exactly how to present that. Are cultures localization or something different? Yes, cultures are localization. Yep. You always build your own localization support? Okay. Hey, Victory Lane, thank you. What specifically are you looking at that's cool here? How can... Do you have further questions that I can answer? Appreciate you joining us there. Looking forward to seeing the implementation of Playwright Test. Me too. WordPress has lots of vulnerabilities. Yes, they do, Traxon. You are completely right. And hopefully using a compiled tool set framework is going to help out with that so that you can't directly inject code that misbehaves. So, I think I'm ready to commit. I think we're ready to commit this, John. And move on here. So I've got a bunch of stuff in there. Yeah, mark this ready to go. So there's all the commits that we've done over the last few days building this feature. It's going to go and looks like it built properly. So I will squash and merge. Yeah, I think we're good. Go ahead. And with that, I think we can say safely here, we've completed our second milestone. We've got all the things working, and we can tag and mark this as done. Yeah. So, right, do I have a... Yeah, I have one tag out here for 0.1. So, let's create 0.2. Right? That's my keyboard. That's not where I wanted to go. But let's jump over to my main branch. What? No. No. Oh no. I didn't add those other things. Yes, do that. Oh no. I'm gonna need to do one more pull request to get that in. Yeah, compare across forks. And you don't see my feature page branch refresh. Over here. No, I'm sorry. You don't see it because you're not on mine. I should get rid of feature post too. Can't automatically merge. Yeah, I know. Go ahead, resolve the conflict. And I want that instead. Do it again. Delete the branch. How bad did I just screw up my commit history? Not terrible. I could rebase and push it. I could. Where are they stored? In a database. In a database for now. Alright. So now, check out main. Pull upstream main. But what I'd really like to do is rebase. Thank you. Now, should be head 2. There we go. What? That's fine. Git push. Because it's going to overwrite. Now, hey, Bulgarian? Really? All right. I think. It's not gonna. No. No. Main. Oh boy. Do that. Now what? Oh no. Is it like that or is it the other one? I think it's the other one. Go back the other way. All right. You never understood why people care about commit history? It's something to make it just a little bit cleaner to follow. That's all. But I'm going to git tag v0.2. There it is. Git push. Not that tag. And is it going to let me... Can I... git push upstream tags. Is it that? Yeah, there we go. Now we've got a second tag. And it's verified? How's it verified? Whatever. Let me catch up on chat. Do you need a certificate to run the app? Nope. Nope. It's not a technical thing. Yeah, no, it's not a technical. It's strictly a preference thing. It's a cleanliness. So, let me go to the milestones, and I'm going to close out too. Right? Edit milestone. Closed. Next. We've had this idea of being able to introduce security. I'm not sure if that should be next or if we should do start publishing containers. So clearly this should be, let's talk about and bounce around to some of these. This should be on the security milestone. Pinning the version of Postgres containers. Let's put this with this deployments. And I want to find developers. Is it Ziad? Welcome. Yeah, 0.2. There we go. What do I want to do for security? MS identity or a provider? See, we need identity because even if we do a provider, it needs to save some of the references to that provider locally. Right? It still needs to persist. Here's the claims that these roles have been granted. So we could go with very simple authentication, simple authorization, and start to define some roles, some initial claims that go with that. So you're right, set-top Vox. Planning and deciding how we want to plug that in, because some folks may want to use something big like Entra. Some folks might want to use something like Keycloak. Other folks might be just like, I don't care. Let me just log in and save stuff into a database locally, or let me log in and use a provider like my Twitter account, my Twitch account, my YouTube account to log in. So I think we need to build that as a service. Yeah. This, I think, let's put this on that 4. Embedded images, I'm going to put this on here. Yeah. Let's put this on with security. Security text standard, let's put that on with the security milestone. There we go. Let's put this out on 4. Some initial meta tags. No, not. Site administrators to control robot text content. This, I think, is part of another milestone. Yeah, it's not going to let me create one here. I think we need to go to 0.5. Admin customization. Yeah, admin customization 1. Initial customization capabilities for a system admin. Just initial capabilities. Don't know what it's going to be, but let's provide a placeholder for working on that. No, I didn't. I wanted issues with no milestones. This is a little bit further down. But that's a little bit further down.
Coding Bandit just resubscribed for 70
Coding
months.
Bandit?
Why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs.
Thank you so much. It's great to see you, Carrie. Thank you for that support. And I'll make a donation to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Let me catch up with chat there. Game Quality is Doomed says, where can I learn to use GitHub like this? It's so neat, especially with the milestones. There's help features on each page as you're going through and working with issues. So, right, you can get help. Where is it? There is help available. There is docs on this that you can go through and ask for help about. I don't know where it is, but there are docs down here at the bottom you can click into and activate and go learn more about. I'll turn back on the keyboard cam in a second. And it will show you this. Watching how other people use GitHub will definitely give you insight on how to use some more of these features. We're going to get into GitHub Actions here to build and deliver a container, and I think that'll open your eyes maybe to some features. Gameplay is Doomed. And because I'm doing everything open source here, right? I want to stress that. Everything on this project is open source. You can navigate here and look at how I have this configured and learn and implement some of the things that I'm doing in your projects. So, Fritz and Friends /SharpSite is where you can find it. For MVP, just do simple auth, but define an interface for those that other auth methods can fix into. Totally agree, Set Top Vox. And the question that we need to figure out as part of the project managers that are planning this, what is the scope of those interfaces that we want to define so that we aren't over-engineering something, but putting at least a foundation in place that we can extend and enhance later to provide capabilities for enterprise grade. Hang on, say that right, Fritz. Hang on, say that. Hang on. For enterprise grade security later, right? Identity does support token flows. Go with the route identity framework. I think that's a good start. How you doing, Carrie? Great to see you. What is the Live Coders? The Live Coders is a stream team that I founded back in 2019, full of folks that build and write code live on Twitch. For the most part, the team's disbanded since. But there are folks that still write code and share and collaborate with each other as part of the Live Coder stream team. It is a bunch of nerds who program on stream. Yes. So, Duende changed the licensing. They did. Yep. It is free for a smaller project. Yes, they do have limits on some of those folks. But quite frankly, if you are an enterprise that's using their open source software, you can pitch them a couple bucks to help them continue maintaining something that brings you that much value. So, good way to learn Git and GitHub is to just make a private repo and tinker with it. And since it's private, make as many mistakes as you want. Way way on board with you, Land of the Elite. That's a great consideration there, a suggestion. Yes. You had to build an LDAP integration for Duende so that you could use your existing directory service. Yeah. One thing you always forget to do on projects like this, so I'll mention now, figure out how, where you want to handle permissions and other gates. Completely agree. Let's create an issue for that. Grant roles permissions to users. We should define some initial roles. Yeah. For SharpSite. And allow administrators to assign those to users. There it is. System admin, an editor, a writer. Let's just leave it at that. Right. A system admin can do anything on the application. An editor cannot change application configuration. But can read, write any and all content. A writer can only read, write posts. Done. And let's put this on our introducing security. So, set-top Vox. I'd love to hear your input. If you have some comments of some things that we should remember as we're building this, here's the issue 66 out there. So you can jump through and add on to that. Let me put a project link over here so that we can make it easy for folks to get there. Is project planning, I could say project planning for SharpSite, and I'll add a link. GitHub.com. That's not Fritz. I forgot the T. Fritz and Friends. SharpSite. Oh. And that should give us the project command. That's not me. And I will pin that message. Yep, there we go. Fantastic. You're considering taking the LDAP stuff you built and make it available for other folks to plug into their projects? That's very cool. That's very kind of you. And, right, not entirely required. 5 gift subs in the channel.
Gifted 5 subs.
Thank you so much. Very, very cool from Coding Bandit. Congratulations. That gamer just, BJ Zwick, the Lost O2, SP Tremblay, British Panda, you just got a gift subscription from our friend Coding Bandit, and I'm going to make donations to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Thank you so much for that support. Awesome stuff. Thank you. Thank you. It's also part of addressing access to endpoints. Yes. We'll get that in there. Execute Order 66. It's an issue about granting roles. Eliminate the Jedi.
Johab cheered 100.
Johan with the cheer.
Choo-choo.
Thank you so much. Are we closing in on a hype train? Ads are going to start in about 5 minutes. I think we're getting close. We might be getting close. Will you think of the younglings, Lord Vader? Or are you just going to kill them all like some animal? Do it. Do it now. Okay. How you doing, President? Not sure. My goodness, thank you so much. Look at all the stuff going on. So I think, did I roll back? I think I rolled back how easy or difficult it was to activate the hype train. Our friend 9.5 was saying, gosh, nobody makes the hype train anything more than one. And I was like, I made it like four people have to participate for us to get to a hype train. So, I think I rolled it back. So, to make it easier, nope, it's still 4. Fine, I'll make it 2. You know what? I didn't hit save changes when I was in there before. That's what it was. All right, there it is. Now 2 actions will activate the hype train. Have a good one, Napalm. Thank you for joining us. I'm probably not going to be on too much longer. I'm not sure how much code I'm actually going to dive into here. So there's a pull request out there. Look at that. Adding Bulgarian from Dimitar. Look at that. Heck yes, look at that. So adding Bulgarian, I like to keep these in alphabetical order, so I'm going to move the Bulgarian up to the top. But right, what's going to be interesting for us, and for folks that use Latin-based character sets like English, French, Dutch, getting the Cyrillic character set coming through with Bulgarian is going to be fun to work with there. So let's bring that in. Let it run and get it added into the mix here, and I think I can edit. Can I edit the file? I think I have the ability to. Yeah. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move that just up here. Right? Just so that it's in alphabetical order to make it easier to find these. Moved BG to the top of the language list. So commit that in, and there we go. Now it's in the right order. And that should rebuild, and it should build quickly. Yeah, no, the last comma is actually okay. C# it will ignore that last comma. So, no conflicts. Merging can be performed. There's the build. Right. There it goes. Setting up .NET. I'll let it ride. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, certainly. How you doing there, friend? Restoring dependencies. And if it needs to be fixed, I'll go back and fix it. But I'm like 90% positive that final comma on a list is kind of omitted and ignored. There's the build. Yeah. You made a quick comment on 66? Fantastic. I'll jump in there, set top box. Take a quick look-see. There you go. Built properly. All green. Super green. So, jump back over here, and we'll merge that in. And I'll add what is it? All contributors. Add, yep. Oh, come on. Really? I'm just going to do this by hand. As a contributor for translation. Thank you for the Bulgarian translation. Awesome. And there's a pull request to get Dimitar on our list of contributors. Go ahead and put that on the thing. Get rid of the extra branch. And there's Dimitar. And we'll go back over here. And if I pull upstream main. Go back up here. Go ahead and let that reload. Hey, Robert Stefan, have a good one. What did we run into? Should be running. There it is. And now we have Bulgarian. Right? Like, getting there. Getting there. Really cool stuff. Thank you so much for that. Go ahead and re-kick that off. And there's a comment on the issue. There it goes. Close that one. Close that one. Cool. All right. Back over to the issues and issue 66. Common approach to this can be done by making a roll a collection of CRUD operations. User CRUD, read, update, and delete for themselves. Read for others. I like where you're going. Defining, here's an entity. Here's your permissions on that entity. So whether it's users, right? And so there's an interesting discussion that we can do more with there. Yes. Yeah, there we go. Homeless Rogue says, looking good. Thank you. Typhu here on Twitch, welcome Typhu, says, I'm not real familiar with C# ecosystem. Can a C# project like this be hosted as cheaply as a PHP-based CMS? Yes, because it can be bundled and run in a container. So, what we're doing here, this is .NET Aspire, and this is the dashboard that helps us configure our solution, right? And right now we have a database that's sitting here next to our project. So we can bundle our project up inside of a container, just like our database is running inside of a container, and deploy those containers and let them run. So you can deploy and run that container on any kind of hosting service that supports container capabilities. So it's not natively running and available on, typically not natively running and available on a web server, because C# requires you to compile your code. There's a compiler that's involved there, generates binary code, and you deploy that binary code. We like to do that with containers in the .NET ecosystem, because you get the same exact thing running on every machine when you go and roll out that container. So it'll run just fine on a hosting service. Maybe it's DigitalOcean, someone like them. Maybe it's running on one of the big public clouds, whether it's Google, Amazon, or Microsoft Azure. you have the ability to build and deploy containers. So good question, Taifu. Happy to answer that. We should also be able to activate Blazor projects through JavaScript anywhere. What do you mean by activate Blazor projects? Because there's a couple different things that you can do back and forth between Blazor and JavaScript. And I want to make sure that I answer your question and your question there correctly, Dan Lupp, and then explain what you're looking for. You're welcome, Taifu. And right, that's kind of what we're trying to do here is expose folks to what you can do with C# and be able to navigate and get around there. Like the website, right? When I build and run here locally, I get this dashboard that has my database sitting out here, right? And I've defined the structure for how my application gets put together with one file that says, hey, there's a method over here to go set up Postgres, right? And I can jump into that, and I do things in here like say, hey, go add a database. And we're going to put a data volume down on disk, and it's going to have persistent lifetime. Don't start and stop it. Start up the PG admin service with it, though, right? And it's configuring and running Postgres. But when I come back over here, I'm also saying, well, add this C# project. I'm going to call it web front end. Give it a reference to the database that we just defined. And give it external endpoints. Go ahead and run the whole thing. And it gives me this dashboard where I can then look at the consoles, not just for my website, but I can also look at the console for the database. I can see structured logging that's going back and forth across all of those services, or traces to show me how, when I interact with these things, it's getting and working with that data in the database, and be able to see those interactions, right? As well as metrics over here, so we can take a look at exactly what's going on with the interactions. And interesting, the database isn't in this list of metrics. Interesting. So lots of options when you use, this is .NET Aspire. It's a tool set that wraps around your application to enhance and make it better. Okay. So Dan Lupp, to kind of cover the topic in a broad sense, Blazor is a user interface framework that uses C# to format HTML. Blazor can run on the server. It can run with WebAssembly. And Blazor does provide a rich JavaScript interop so that from your .NET code, you can execute and wait for the response from JavaScript code. And the other way, from your JavaScript code, you can reach in and execute your .NET code, wait for a response, and manage and interact that way. Finally, there is also a way for you to package your Blazor WebAssembly code so that it isn't rendering a user interface, but it's a library out there that you can call into and execute from your favorite JavaScript framework. Space Shot with the
Space
resub.
Shot just resubscribed for 64 months.
64 months. Thank you so much. At tier 2. Much appreciate. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll make a donation to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. You used WebAssembly to export a Blazor component into a WordPress solution. There you go. Yep, that's absolutely a thing you can do. It is very interesting, Space Shot points out. It's I don't think it's something for the faint of heart. But it's really, really cool that you can do. So, all right. I think for what we've been working on today, I think I'm done and I want to park for right now. The project's out there. It's on GitHub. I'm going to be out for a bit. Okay, let's wrap up things here. Let's Stop the music. Stop the music. There we go. Let's talk about things for a second here. Because there's a lot that's going to be happening over the next few weeks, and I want to make sure that you know what's going on, that you keep up, and that you know that I'm still out here. Marco, thank you for the follow. Here's the deal. Next week is .NET Conf. I'm the producer of .NET Conf. I will be coming to you live from Microsoft Studios in sunny Seattle, Washington. I'm hosting some of the events. I'm moderating all of the event. We're using TagZap, an application we built live on this stream as part of the event. You're going to get to see code that we wrote on stream running live, and some of your favorite folks that work on .NET interacting with and using an application that you helped build, including Damian Edwards, Maddie Montequilla, David Fowler. Okay? It's going to be amazing next week, all right? They're using a product, an application, a website that you helped build out there, chat room. That's next week. So I'm not going to be so much streaming here during the week. The following week is Microsoft Ignite in Chicago. I've been recruited. I will be speaking at Ignite. I will be in Chicago. And I'm going to try and squeeze in a stream. We'll see how it goes. Yes, Maddie's one of our hosts helping out with that, and she will be using TagZap. Right, all of these folks will, and quite frankly, the feedback we've gotten from them is it's a fun app to use that they enjoy using to interact with folks out there chatting and participating. Oh my. Whether it's Twitch, YouTube, Mastodon, Twitter, Blue Sky now, or just through our website. There is a code party during .NET Conf next week. Yes. More about that going on. More of that. You'll see it on Twitter, and you'll see it coming up about .NET Conf. All right. So I'm at Ignite. The week after is the holiday week, and quite frankly, I'm going to be in New York City that week. I'm going to try and get in a stream to get the week started there. I'm going to try and get in a stream at the end of the week. So much going on. After that, my December is wide open, and I might just be streaming every day in the month of December. But November is hit or miss here. I want you to know, though, I will be hanging out in Discord. I will be working on SharpSite every now and again, and I will update and talk about things. There is a dedicated SharpSite channel on the Discord. If you want to ask questions, if you want to talk about it, if you want to volunteer to pick up and work on something and talk about it, we'll be hanging out there and working on it, all right? Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. It is always such a pleasure, such a joy, working, writing code, chatting with you, getting your feedback. I love that we're getting comments on issues, translation pull requests. Thank you so much for the help with that. But for now, I've got to run. I've got to head off and get to some meetings. I might be meeting with somebody named Scott! Or is it somebody else named Scott? So that's coming up. That's what I have ahead of me here. Let me take a look around the horn. Let's find somebody that would be fun to raid. You know what? We haven't raided this fella in a while. Yeah, him. I'm going to get you connected to the Captain Coder. He's a friend who is writing code. He's building a tower defense game. So let me get you connected over there to the Captain Coder. All right. I'll be around. I'm not going to be on my regular Tuesday, Thursday schedule. I'm going to try and get some extra streams in here and there, but it won't be on Tuesdays and Thursdays because we've got the big events over the next 2 weeks. All right. You can find me on Discord. I'm happy to respond to any of your questions, discussions on Discord. But I will be back in about 2 weeks. All right. 2.5 weeks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Get ready to say hi to my friend, the Captain Coder, and I will see you soon. All right. Take care, friends. Where's the button? Hit the button. No, do the button. Ah, there it is.